Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Mary Margaret, and today we are doing a very chatty Q&A video. I have not done one of these since before we moved to Florida. I think my last one was titled Big Life Updates. I had just quit my corporate job. It was at the time me and Noah decided we were gonna move to Florida after school, and so it has been a while. It's probably been a full year, or almost a full year, since that last one, so very overdue. We have a ton of things to cover. I posted a Q&A on my Instagram stories asking you guys to send in any questions that you guys have. I got a lot of questions about the wedding, so you guys will be getting a ton of updates on that, and then just a few other fun questions here and there. So if you want to listen, then just keep on watching. I just got a strawberry acai refresher. It's my favorite drink at Starbucks. And then I also got a cake pop. I think I want to start off with the wedding based questions, because I feel like that's what most people are curious about, because I haven't shared a whole lot about it on Instagram, just because I want to keep things a surprise. I share everything of my life on social media, and I feel like my wedding is the one thing that I kind of want to keep on the DL until the day of. The first question I got is someone asking if I feel bad making people travel for our wedding. If you didn't know, we're getting married in the 30A area, so it's right in between Destin and PCB, and all of my family's pretty much back in Louisiana. My parents, and then my mom's side and my dad's side pretty much are all in Louisiana. So a good bit of people for our wedding will be traveling. And yes, it was something that we had to consider, but there just wasn't a place in Louisiana or our hometown that felt special to us. Whereas where we live in Seaside, it's where we started dating. We grew up going on vacations there, and it just has a lot more sentimental value to us. So we wanted to have our wedding where we currently live in Florida. So I do have sympathy, obviously, for people who are taking time out of their work week and spending money on gas and a hotel. It really does mean so much that people are willing to do all that for us. But also we totally understand for the people who are gonna have to miss out because they can't get off of work, or they have school, or we already know that some of Noah's Australia family won't be able to make it. And obviously we're very sad, but that's with any wedding. I feel like people are gonna have to travel no matter what. So in our minds, we're we might as well do what we want. And then I also had another question that said, are you nervous getting married so young? I think everyone has a different opinion on this. I guess to some people we're young. I'm 22, Noah just turned 24. Young to middle 20s is, in my mind, is when I've always wanted to get married. I believe my mom got married at 20 or 21, and Noah's parents, I think, were also married at 20 or 21. So in my mind, it's kind of normal to be getting married at this age, but I know everyone is on different timelines, and I know a ton of people who are way older than me and they're not married, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it just depends on everyone's life path. Me and Noah have been dating since we were 15 and 17, so 7 years into our relationship, we're pretty ready to get married. Next question asked if we picked out our wedding bands yet, and the answer is yes. We did pick them out, and I was this close to sharing a photo on my Instagram story when it came in. We went through Diamond Daughters for my rings. I got a ton of questions on my TikTok about my ring to share more details, and I just haven't posted that video yet. But this is a radiant cut style ring. I did the yellow gold band, and again, we went through Diamond Daughters. I think they're based somewhere in California. But Noah worked with them, sent them a ton of inspo photos that I had sent him, and they were able to come up with this for my engagement ring. And then for my wedding band, I also found inspo on Pinterest, and sent that over, and they were able to 3D render because it wasn't a style that they already carried. And so in a sense, it's pretty custom to us because it wasn't a ring style that they already had. And they actually want to sell my wedding band on their website now, and they were gonna name it after me because the team just loved the design so much, which is so crazy and exciting. I think they're holding off until we post about it because they don't want to share my wedding band if we're not ready to post it. So I think they're just waiting for us to kind of showcase it first. But yeah, so we did get our wedding bands. I went through Diamond Daughters for both of mine. And then for Noah's wedding band, he went with a simple plain gold band. And it has like a ridging detail on both sides, like very minimal. And we went to a local jeweler at home in Louisiana that my family goes to. I don't know why I'm literally breaking out in hives. So that's fun. Don't know why that's happening, but okay, we're gonna ignore the hives. This girl must be a little nervous for some reason. Next up, someone asked to see a picture of my wedding dress. I will not be sharing that. Although I really, really want to. Like I said, I share so much of my life online. It feels weird not showing you guys my wedding dress. I'm so tempted to post it. Originally, I didn't want to show anyone my wedding dress besides the people who came with me when I picked it out. I wanted it to be a surprise on the day of my wedding as I walked down the aisle, but I am so impatient and just like want to show everyone. So I've literally showed like all of my bridesmaids, pretty much all of my girl cousins, all of my aunts. Everyone has seen it besides Noah. My dad has even seen it. I'm just too excited. But I will say, I'm not gonna give any hints or details about the dress, like the style and everything, besides it is not anything that I've seen before. Like all of the pins that I have on like my wedding Pinterest board, I went in thinking I wanted one style, and then I ended up not even trying that style dress on, but two, the dress that I went with is totally different. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Also, the wedding dress I went with was the first dress that I tried on. And I was the first person to ever try it on in that store. The dress I went with arrived the night before my appointment. And one of my old high school friends worked at the bridal store that I went to. And when she was unboxing it the night before to put it out on the floor, she told her coworker, she was like, I feel like this is like the one she's gonna go with. And then it ended up being the one that I chose. So I thought that was such a weird coincidence. And just like so special that it was the first one I tried on. After I put it on, I was literally like, okay, I'm done. Like, I don't need to try on anything else. But obviously the people were like, let's just try on a few more just to like make sure that you don't like any of these other styles. And I did like some of the other options, but it just didn't feel as special as that first one that I put on did. The next question asked what the hardest part of wedding planning is. And I feel like the typical answer, which I do agree with, is the guest list. For our venue, I think it can hold 180 people. We're hoping for 120 to 130. I feel like that's a good fit because I have a huge family on both parent sides. I think all of my family and all of Noah's family totaled to like 90 people, not even including friends. So we knew we wanted to keep it on the smaller side. A like utility truck just pulled up next to me, and I'm in like a parking spot that goes like this. It's empty where I am, but the guy who just pulled up. Here I am. The guy that just pulled up is pulled like this. So now I feel awkward because he's literally just like, I don't know if he's looking at me. I can't see him, but his car is facing directly at me. So I might just pause for a sec. Whatever, we're just gonna keep going. So I do agree with that part, but something that I wasn't expecting to be hard was the music selection, which I feel like that's the thing that no one talks about. And it was one of the things that took like the most amount of time for me to figure out, because you don't realize how many songs you have to choose. I had to find music for people to like sit down to, like as they're walking into the ceremony, to be seated while they're waiting for the ceremony to get started. I had to choose, I think I ended up finding like 3 songs that I liked for that. And then you also have to have a song for like if you're having parents and grandparents walk down the aisle. You also have to have a song for the bridal party to walk down the aisle, and then your song that you walk down to. And then as you are leaving the ceremony, as you're walking back out as a married couple, you have to find a recession song, again, for all of those things. You also need a song for when you enter your reception. You need your first dance song. You need your the bride and the father of the bride song. song. You also need the groom and the mother of the groom song, and then also like an exit song. There's just so many different songs that I didn't even think of. So I spent literally probably 3 hours searching for all these different songs, and I think I finally have settled on all of them besides like maybe 1 or 2. Okay, I think that concludes the wedding portion of these questions. That was like pretty much the main ones that I got. So now I'll move into just like more of the general questions that people sent in. So the first one asked if we regret getting Ranger right now, which I thought was funny because I feel like we don't really complain about him too much online. We love him. We are so happy that we got him, but I will say it is a very long-term commitment. And obviously we knew that going into it, but I do think the one thing that we struggle with is because we're so young and we have the flexibility to travel with both of our jobs, it's something that we want to do more of, but obviously having a puppy puts a damper on that because we have to find someone who's willing to watch him, and he's still a puppy. He's also not neutered, and so we're a little bit hesitant to put him in like a doggy daycare type thing where they sleep there, because the one we were looking into that's local to us, they leave at 7 p.m. and then they don't get back until 7 a.m. the next morning, like the caretakers. And so Ranger, like, he stays up with us until like 10:30, 11:30, and we bring him down at that time right before we go to sleep, and then he's up at like 5:30 a.m. And so that part just kind of stinks because it's just harder for us to travel, whereas if we didn't have a dog, we wouldn't have to think twice about it and we could just be like, oh yeah, let's go here, let's go here. But now it's a matter of like asking my parents to watch him or asking a friend to watch him. And it's definitely not a regretful thing, but it's just more responsibilities on your plate, obviously. Another person asked how to like practice safety while being like having a presence online. This is something that's so important, and I try to be better at it than I am, but Noah always like reminds me, especially when we were in New York for Fashion Week, he was like, make sure you're delaying your posts. And I think this is a really good tip or like something to use. Like if you are out in public somewhere, like when we go to hot yoga, I try and delay my stories a little bit just because we live in a small town, and if someone wanted to find me or do anything, it's really not that hard when you're posting your whole life on social media. And so I think delaying your post or like not tagging a specific area that's too close to you, or just doing like a more general tag, I think doing things like that definitely helps. And then also just like blocking any creepy accounts. I block creepy men all the time. Pretty much daily I go through my followers and remove any like creepy old men accounts. I just try and practice that as best as possible. Okay, sorry if the angle changed a little bit. I'm filming on my phone. I brought the little camera, but there's no SD card in it. So I'm filming on my phone and all of the questions are on my phone. So I had to like stop filming to check what the other questions were. The next person asked if I had to listen to one music genre, what would it be for the rest of my life? This is gonna offend some people, but I would say country. Country is like the one type of music that I don't get tired of. Like if we have a 10-hour road trip, country music the entire time and I will be good to go. Fun fact, I actually used to hate country music. In high school, it was like the worst thing ever in my mind. And then my sister started listening to country and we rode to school together, and she would play it like on the way to school and on the way home. So I was basically just forced to listen to it, and then ended up like learning all of the words and ended up loving it. So thanks to Emily, if you're watching this, which you probably are, because she usually texts me every time she watches one of my videos to tell me if I have a typo or if I say something like wrong. So thank you for making me like country music, because it's now my favorite genre. So that would be my answer. Next person asked if I have a preference over hot yoga or Pilates, and I feel like that's hard because they're so different. Both are such a good workout, but every time I leave, I feel different from both. With hot yoga, the class that I go to, it is such an intense workout. Like it's not just like your average like stretching and flowing gentle yoga class. This is like a workout yoga class. The temperature is like 102. You do push-ups and you are constantly moving, and I leave dripping in sweat, and I'm like struggling to like catch my breath type of workout. Whereas with Pilates, the machine Pilates, that is like smaller movements, but it's pinpointing different muscles than hot yoga does. It's a different type of sore. You just get like way more of a stretch with Pilates. So they're very different, but if I did have to choose, I think I would go with hot yoga, just because I like leaving a workout sweating, because it feels like I accomplished something and like I actually got a good workout in. But I honestly love both, and they're just different in their own ways. Okay, my next question asked for advice on like friendship drama. And again, I feel like everyone handles this so differently. I've never been like a drama person or a confrontational person at all. If you know me, you know I'm like the biggest people pleaser. And I think with any relationship, friendships, romantic relationships, whatever, I think my best advice is to just trust your gut. And to stand up for yourself. Like I said, I'm a people pleaser and I will let people walk all over me. But something that I started doing more of in 2022 was standing up for myself. And it's a really hard thing to do, but it does help you grow as a person. The biggest thing is like friendships, and any relationship goes both ways. I think my biggest piece of advice regarding drama is to just talk about it. If something's bothering you, like just bring it up, because people can't read minds. So if you don't let them know that something's bothering you, then they'll never know. How they react is on them. You can't control how they're going to respond to the way that you feel. And if you ever feel uncomfortable or like unvalued, just remove yourself from the situation. Take a step back and reflect and really decide if that friendship or that relationship is worth it to you to continue being a part of. Because if they are not making you feel good about yourself, or making you question things, or not validating the way that you're feeling, I think those are all signs of like an unhealthy relationship. Your friendships should uplift you and inspire you and just make you feel like a better person. And if you leave a situation after hanging out with them and you're feeling drained or whatever, all of your feelings are valid. And I feel like in the end, just listen to your gut, because your gut is always right. Okay, this video is getting a little lengthy, so I'm gonna answer 2 more questions. The next one is, do you have plans to get any more tattoos? Yes, I do. If you didn't know, I have 4 tattoos right now. I have one on my wrist, one on my arm, one on this wrist, and then one on my ankle. And I actually do have plans, or like want to get at least 2 more that I know of. I just don't know when or where, but I definitely do want more. And then the last question is honeymoon plans. I know this is kind of going back to like the wedding portion of this video, but I did want to let you guys know, I think me and Noah, again, this is not like set in stone, we haven't booked anything, but as of right now, our plan is to do Paris. We want to hopefully fly in and out of Paris and do majority of our trip there, but we're open to doing like train rides or little day trips to surrounding cities and towns. But if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I'm really trying to stay consistent on my YouTube game, so I upload every single Tuesday. And make sure to subscribe if you're not already, like this video, and comment down below if you have any other questions or any video requests. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.